Okay, now we're going to look at conditional probability. Conditional probability just means that we've set some conditions on the outcome, and basically we're saying, what is the probability of B, some event happening, given that some other constraint has already occurred. So let's take an example. We'll run through this picking letters from the alphabet. And we could say, what is the probability of selecting a vowel from the 26 letters in the alphabet? And we could calculate that pretty easily. We just count up the number of vowels, then divide that by the total number of letters, and we'd have the probability. Okay, which is pretty easy. There's 5 vowels, 26 letters, so we know that the probability of selecting a vowel is 5 out of 26. Okay, but what if we said, what is the probability of selecting a vowel, right? And we would write this as the probability of selecting a vowel, and we use this kind of vertical line to represent given that, such that we only look at the cases, like let's say we did this 1,000 times, but then we went back and we only looked at the cases where the letters A through G were selected. Now, what is the probability of selecting a vowel, given that we only look at the cases where the final outcome was a letter A through G? Well, that's essentially looking at a sample space that's A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. So now we're basically saying, what is the probability of selecting a vowel, given that it has the outcome as one of these letters? And so all we have to do is the probability up here, the probability of selecting a vowel, given that we're only looking at the cases where the outcome was an A through G. We're ignoring all the other cases where we might have selected an M or an X. And in this case, we've got an A here and an E here. So there's 2 favorable outcomes, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total possibilities. And so our probability of selecting a vowel, given that we know the outcome is going to be a letter from A to G, is simply 2 out of 7. And that's all a conditional probability is. Just put some constraints on the probability and looks at it that way. This is obviously different than this. It's off by a little bit. They're actually fairly close, but still it's a different probability, and that's what a conditional probability is.